Happy New Year, everyone. Hope you all are having a fantastic day. Hope you're enjoying the holidays with all of your family. And today is one of my favorite videos that I get to make every single year. It is my top 10 favorite movies of 2023. Now, I want to start this off with two things. One, I already did a video breaking down my honorable mentions. I went 25 to 11 yesterday. So go check out that video if you have not already. I break down the movies I didn't get to see. I break down my honorable mentions. And today we are focusing solely on 10 through 1. Secondly, thank you all so much for everyone that has supported the channel this year. It was a very weird year, and I'll touch on all of it a little bit at the end of the video, but I really do appreciate all of you for sticking it out, watching the videos, supporting the channel. I think it was probably one of the best years I've ever had, and I didn't post that many videos, which is saying something, and I really do appreciate that. And thirdly, this is my list. Let's not be hostile in the comments. You put your list down below in the comments, and I want to hear what your favorite movies of the year were. Don't be hostile. This is my list. Film is subjective. Let's have a little bit of fun, and let's jump right into it.
He said if we were the toughest, the strongest, nothing could ever hurt us. I believed him. We all did.
Coming in at number 10, and I talked about this in my last video, that Air, which came in at number 11, was number 10 on my list since like April. It's been there forever. But what just edged it out at the end of this year is the Iron Claw. I did a video on this. It absolutely popped off. At the time of recording this, it has about 5,500 views and almost 100 comments. And I love and appreciate all of you that watch that video. If you have subscribed and you have joined from that video, I love you and appreciate you and thank you so much. This film is incredibly tragic. It's a film about the Von Erich wrestling family, as you know. And I've actually learned a lot more about this family in the comments section of that video that I posted last week, and a lot of insight that I did not know ahead of time. So everyone that's given insight about the Von Erich story, thank you. Like, it's things that I did not know that I appreciate knowing now. So I appreciate all of that. It doesn't change my thought on the movie, though. I still think the movie is incredibly tragic. It's made with a lot of care. It does leave out what sounds like some pretty important parts of the story. But again, they did consult with Kevin in real life, and it got his blessing. So I'm just going to go with that. But like I said, a tragic story. It's about brotherhood, public expectation when you're in kind of the limelight, and familial pressure. That's a lot of what this film is about. I still think it's written with incredible care. I think that Sean Durkin's direction is very delicate. And Zac Efron is as good as advertised here. But it's not just Zac Efron. The entire supporting cast is incredible. The ending's heartbreaking. It's a feast for the emotions. And one of the best movies I saw this year. It comes at number 10, and it just edged out Air for number 10 at the very end of the year. There's not much left for me to say other than it's out now in theaters. Go watch it in a theater because it really is one of the best theatrical experiences I've had this year.
I bet we were fun.
Coming in at number 9, I did not think I'd have an MCU movie on here, but it is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I love this movie. I did. I think it's incredible. I rewatched it numerous times this year. It's the perfect wrap-up to the Guardians trilogy. It's got moments for every character. Every character shines. They get their conclusion, even though, like, basically all the characters will be back in some way, shape, or form. They all get their conclusion of this team, and I really thought that that was well done. At the core, it's a story about Rocket Raccoon, and it worked incredibly well. It's very emotional. It's got so much passion from James Gunn. It's oozing with passion. You can feel it. The performances are stellar, and the hallway fight sequence is one of the best sequences you will see in film this year. It's incredibly emotional. It's one of the more fulfilling movies you'll see this year. And it is the MCU at its peak. Like, we get a bunch of trash, and then we get some peak. And this was one of the examples of peak MCU. Absolutely loved it. It was the first film, this is the first film in this list that I gave 5 out of 5 stars. I only rated 9 movies 5 out of 5 stars this year, which for me, if you know my rating system, is actually pretty good. But yeah, I absolutely fell in love with this movie. I love these characters, and I think the ending's absolutely perfect. And I'm excited to see where they show up next. I really am.
You gotta be a good person to go to heaven.
So, we're the same. We can't go to heaven because you're not good. And I'm not a person.
Coming in at number 8 is a film that I have not seen on a lot of people's lists, which I understand, but for me it really struck a chord, and that is The Creator. It is a modern, in my opinion, a modern sci-fi epic. The originality of this story, the backstory, the characters, the world, I think it's what Rebel Moon wanted to be. Watch out, Snyder fans. Don't come at me. And it's breathtaking. It's jaw-dropping. It's gorgeous to look at. And it's highly emotional. It takes the hardships and things that we see every day now and puts them in a futuristic setting. And it was incredibly poignant. It tackles, like I've already said, it tackles themes that we see in today's world. And it was highly emotional while also being thoroughly entertaining. The CGI is James Cameron Avatar level stuff. It really is. Like, I'm not just saying, like, it really is. It is gorgeous to look at. It is so seamlessly done. And it hits all the emotions you could want. It's on Blu-ray now, so you're not going to have the chance to see it in theaters. But at the time, I recommended, and I still recommend, if you have the opportunity to see this in theaters, go sprint to see this in theaters, because it really is a feast for the eyes, and I think that a lot of people will really, really enjoy it. And it comes in number 8 on my list.
Told him to do it in the front of the head, and why did he do it in the back of the head? It's so simple. The front is the front, the back is the back.
He has to make it look like he done himself.
It just looks like murder. It's not supposed to be that way.
Coming in at number 7, you knew it had to be on here, and everyone has it on their end of year lists because it's a damn good picture. It is Killers of the Flower Moon. I was highly anticipating this. I read half the book, not the entire book, but I read half the book. So I already had a groundwork of what this story was about. And it's Martin Scorsese doing Martin Scorsese things. He knows how to direct a damn picture. It is technically masterful. It is an epic of early America. It's gripping. It's emotional. And on top of everything, it's important. It is an important story that has been lost in American history, that has needed to be told for centuries now, and now it is finally being told, and I'm glad it is, because it's a very important story to be told. The cast is fantastic. Robert De Niro. I still, to this day, am not sure if I love Leo's performance or hate it. I'm going to lean on the side of love, but it's still to be determined. But the MVP here is Lily Gladstone. Now, I've changed my tune a little bit. I do think Emma Stone might have the edge for Best Lead Actress for Poor Things, but if it were still up to me, I would give Lily Gladstone that Oscar. If it were up to me. She is absolutely phenomenal in this movie. Absolutely incredible. The movie's long, and that is a bit of a theme this year. The movie's long, but I would not cut a second. It's all so important to the story. There is not a sequence or a scene that I believe should be cut out. It's all detail and all, like I said, paramount to the overarching story. So the runtime didn't kill it for me. I think it actually had relatively good pacing. And if you haven't watched it, you're living under a rock. I don't know why you haven't watched it already. You should watch this movie. One of the best of the year. Martin Scorsese, like I said, knows how to direct a gosh darn movie, and it comes in at number 7 on my list.
I got kicked out of Harvard for hitting him.
You hit him? What, like punched him out?
Nope, I hit him with a car.
You got kicked out of Harvard for hitting a guy with a car?
By accident.
Coming in at number 6, this was one I was highly anticipating. I loved the trailer, and I'm so happy that it lived up to the hype, because if it didn't, it would have been by far one of my most disappointed movies of the year. That is The Holdovers, coming in at number 6 on my list. This movie is an instant Christmas classic, even though I know the director does not want it to be that. It is. Sorry, I'm gonna watch it every year around the holidays. It's stunning. It's phenomenal. It's fantastic. It's stellar. It's every word in the book. This is like a warm blanket of emotion, which is kind of contradictory, but that is what it is. The entire cast cooks here. Let me just give shout outs. I got Letterboxd open. Paul Giamatti, his best performance that I've ever seen. Davine Joy Randolph is going to win Best Supporting Actress. Book it. And she deserves it. The baby shoe scene almost brought me to tears. And Dominique Sessa. This is his first credited, I believe, first credited performance in like a feature-length film. That's incredible. Incredible. Like, he is so good. But I absolutely love this. The writing is emotional. It's funny. The direction is fantastic. Everything about this, like I say, it's a warm hug of like a warm blanket of emotion. The story is about the world we live in, overcoming hardship and becoming greater than yourself. It's about how cruel the world can be, but it's about how do you respond to that cruelness. And I think that that's fantastic. It's a story about human connection as well. And it's one that I think everyone that watches it is going to love, and it deserves all the praise. It's a movie, like I said, I'm going to revisit every year. It is going to be an instant Christmas classic for me. And this one, I'm serious. And I'm saying this about all of these, but this one I'm serious because it was a smaller indie that came out this year. If you've not seen The Holdovers, please go watch it because it is one of the best movies of the year, and it comes in at number 6 for me in 2023. Before I get into the top 5, let me know down below in the comments. Give me your top 10. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what were your favorite movies of the year. Let me know in the comment section below. Is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. I love this franchise so much that maybe it's not the best movie, but it's like still top 5 because I love this franchise so much. But that's not true here. This is just a damn good movie. It's a knockout of a movie. It's a pure adrenaline-filled thrill ride. Say that 5 times fast. The stunts, as you've come to expect with Mission Impossible, are incredible. They just are. But even further than that, the performances here are great. I think Haley Atwell is a standout. Like you are 7 movies deep in this franchise, and you still find a way to bring in new characters and make them either terrifying, like Palm Clement did as the villain, or endearing, like Haley Atwell did. I love the villain here too. I know that's a hot take with the AI stuff. It doesn't always work, but here, like, it works. I bought it. And I was intrigued, and I was on the edge of my seat. That's just me. That's all I'm going to say. Took a little bit of time to get going, but once it did, buckle the F up because it is, like I said, a pure adrenaline-filled thrill ride. Nailed it. And this franchise continues to deliver. It's not my favorite of the franchise. Fallout is still my favorite of the franchise, but this one is a close second. I really, really enjoyed it, and it comes in at number 5 on my list. Watch the damn movie because it's that damn good.
Everyone keeps telling me how my story is supposed to go. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Number 4. And we're into territory now where, like, I love all these movies so much. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Holy crap. This movie is incredible. It's that damn good. It's a work of art. It is. Every scene, and we know this with these movies now, like the animation in these is groundbreaking. It's unlike anything we've ever seen before. It is comic books coming to life literally, and it leaves you on the edge of your seat. But it's not just that. It is visually stunning, but it's emotionally dense. It's brilliantly written, and it is, while we had a lot of part 1s this year, this one and Mission Impossible, they both work as their own movies. Like, this movie is its own movie. It just so happens to be having a part 3 that comes out. It's supposed to be next year by, I think, frankly, it's going to be 2025. But, like, the writing is so singular, and it's so good, and it's just, it's written with such care, and it's a story that, while it has superhero stakes, is very human driven, and it's emotionally driven. And the story of Miles Morales is so intriguing, in watching him again come of age and become a more adult, grown-up Spider-Man, and having to go through these trials and tribulations that every Spider-Man before him has had to overcome, was so good. It was so good. The story is incredibly impactful. The cameos were awesome, and they never felt tacky or corny or cheesy. And that's another nod to this movie, because they could have come off as bad, but they didn't. Round of applause to everyone involved. One of the most emotional movies I watched this year. One of the most incredible theater experiences I had this year. And one of the movies that I'm going to continue to revisit time and time again.
You ready, John?
Yeah.
Coming in at number 3 is John Wick Chapter 4. I love this franchise as well. It's no secret. It gets better every single time. It does. I don't know how it does it. It's pulling a Mission Impossible. It gets better every single time. It left my jaw on the floor. This is another one of the most incredible theatrical experiences I had this year. The cinematography is top-notch. The action is expertly choreographed, and it is executed so flawlessly that I was like this in my seat in the theater. I was like this. I was up in my seat. This has the best sequence you'll see all year in the overhead dragon fire shotgun sequence. It is the best sequence you're going to see all year of anything. And that's including like movies I'm going to talk about later on. It's the best sequence of the year, filmmaking wise. It's one of the best action movies, if not the best action movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And that might be, people might think that I'm stretching here, but I don't. I believe it is. Characters are larger than life. The story works very well. I never wanted this movie to end. And when it did, the way it did, not only did I buy it, but I actually loved it. And that pisses me off because, spoilers, I'd love to see more of these movies, but if this really is the final one, I was on board with it. Keanu Reeves is incredible. And that's all I'm going to say. Watch John Wick Chapter 4, and please don't be begging for a 5th. Don't. Because the studios will make one if you beg. Don't. Leave it at 4. Because that's great.
Let's beach off.
Anyone who wants to beach him off has to beach me off first.
I will beach both of you off at the same time.
But you don't even know how to beach yourself off. How are you going to beach both of us off? It doesn't make sense.
And you can beach yourself off. You're going to beach both of us off.
Nobody's going to beach anyone off.
And I think you all know where I'm going here. Because you know me. And you know what I rated these movies this year. Number 2 is Barbie. It's the first half of Barbenheimer. Greta Gerwig's a genius, and this one is going to rile up a lot of feathers. It is. Jack, why is Barbie at number 2? You can hate this movie. You can think it's preachy. You can think whatever you want. That's your opinion. I just want to say that off the top. The fact that I have Barbie at my number 2 slot is my opinion. You may hate it for whatever reason you hate it. You ain't going to change my opinion because I love this damn movie. Greta Gerwig's a genius. I already talked about that. I watched her director with James Cameron. I thought it was awesome. She's so well-spoken and articulate. Barbie is incredible. It's funny. It's emotional. It's bonkers. It's overkill at times, but it's so well done. The technical here is unlike anything we've seen in terms of set design, costume design. They knock it out of the park. The writing here is incredibly contemplative. People are claiming it gets preachy at times, but like I believe it was James Cameron himself said, American Ferrera's speech is not preachy. It is what women go through. It's not preachy. It is just reality. And I think that it's so well articulated in the writing, and I loved it, and I think it's important, and I think it's a movie everyone should watch. Everyone should watch. Even if you don't like it, everyone should watch it because it's important. And And the cast here is incredible. Margot Robbie is picture perfect as Barbie. And Ryan Gosling was born to play Ken. He was, and he's gonna get a supporting actor nods. He will. Will he win it? Probably not, but he's gonna get the nods, and I think he deserves the nods. It's beautiful to look at. It's a look at like self-worth, identity, why we do what we do in the world, and how we can become more in the world, and how the world is a big and scary place. And if you're naive and then you finally get slapped in the face, it can be shocking and daunting and scary, but you can overcome. And I absolutely love this movie. I love this movie. It's my number 2 of the year. I love it. And all you bros that don't like it, be mad or whatever. I don't know. I don't care because I love that movie.
Algebra's like sheet music. The important thing isn't can you read music, it's can you hear it. Can you hear the music, Robert?
Yes, I can.
I'm just going to put the iPad down. So I had the iPad up so I could see my thoughts. I'm just going to turn the device off. I'm going to sit back in my chair a little bit because we're going to talk about my number 1 favorite movie of the year, and that is gosh darn Oppenheimer. You all knew this was coming before the video even started. You all knew. You all knew before the video even started that Oppenheimer was going to be number 1 on my list because it is the only movie I rated 100 out of 100 this year. I think it's a perfect movie. I think it is a masterpiece, and it is by far the best movie we've had in the 2020s decade so far. Okay, let's actually talk about brass tacks here. Christopher Nolan is a master at work. He is. We know this already. He's one of the greatest directors working today. But he does something here that is outer-worldly in the film space. He makes a 3-hour biopic about a man that not a lot of people know about that created the atomic bomb. It is in black and white, and it is in color, and it goes back and forth, and it can be confusing at times, and it grossed over $1 billion at the box office. Maybe not over $1 billion, but it got to $1 billion at the box office. Have you heard of any other movie like that doing that? No, that doesn't happen. That is the Christopher Nolan effect. All right. Brass tacks, sorry. It is a technical marvel. Shot beautifully. Set design, visual effects, costume design, sound, all of that, incredible. This was the best cinematic experience I had in a theater this year. I watched it 6 times in a theater. I used 18 hours of my life watching this movie in theaters. And I would do it all over again. The performances are the best. Robert Downey Jr., I will always remember his performance here. He could have phoned it in, but he didn't. And he delivered one of the most memorable performances of the year, has one of the most memorable diatribes and speeches of the year. Cillian Murphy gives the most subtle but haunting performance I saw all year. He's probably not going to win Best Actor at this point. I wish he would, but he won't. But he deserves all the love and praise that he has gotten, and he will continue to get. The story, the writing is so well done. Going back and forth between black and white and color, I think, was a brilliant idea. It is a haunting story about the world and weapons and greed and power and the domino effect that certain scientific discoveries can have on the greater good and the world, and whether or not you are involved in the destruction of mankind just by building and inventing said item. Watching Cillian Murphy's Oppenheimer deteriorate over time after creating the atomic bomb was riveting, because you're watching this moral compass and him just wanting to be a scientist, not be a weapons manufacturer, and seeing the consequences to his actions and the mental warfare that is being played in his head. It is so incredible to watch. And watching how the story unfolds, not knowing at the beginning how it's going to unfold, is one of the greatest things I've watched in film. May seem a little dramatic, but that's my opinion. I think this is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen, in my opinion. and is one that I will constantly revisit. Believe it or not, this might sound a little crazy. It is a comfort movie to me now. I pop it on when I just want to chill and be comfortable because I already know that I'm going to love it. And Oppenheimer comes in at number 1 on my list. I feel like I just went on like a big rant there about Oppenheimer, and I could have just said gibberish for the last 5 minutes, and I wouldn't know because I was just in it. I was in it, talking about how much I love this movie. Okay, your turn. Top 10 in the comments right now. Let me know. What'd you think? What'd you think about my list? Am I completely off base? Did you love it? Do you agree? Let me know. But at the end of the day, it is my list, and I want to see your list down below in the comments. I really do appreciate it. All right, that's it. Long video. Thank you all so much for the support this year. I stopped doing YouTube for a while, took a little bit of a hiatus. Now I'm kind of doing it like part-time, not as full-time as I used to, because I've got other responsibilities in the world. But you all are still coming and supporting and watching my videos, even more than you did before. And I really do appreciate that. And I've grown this community, and it's so great. And we're about to get to 1,500 subscribers, which I didn't think we'd get to, but because of that Iron Claw video and all of that, we're going to get there. And I'm so thankful and so happy. Thank you all so much for supporting this year. I'm very much looking forward to next year. Subscribe to this channel if you have not already. Subscribe to my second channel if you have not already. It's going to be linked down in the comments. Follow me on Instagram. That's going to be linked down in the comments as well. Thank you all so much. I hope you have a great new year. I hope you go into 2024 happy, healthy, in a good headspace, and ready to tackle the new year. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for a great year, and I look forward to seeing you all in 2024.